According to From Software's Cut DLC tag, Malenia's journey may not be over yet. This is Saint Trina's hideaway in Altus Plateau. But do you know what this is? An octopus. In Shinto religion, baby octopuses are regarded as having divine healing properties. It is believed among followers that giving offerings to Akurakamu will heal ailments of the body, in particular disfigurements, but most importantly, broken limbs. This reminds me of someone who can make great use of this. Akurakamu is this entity characteristically described with the ability to self-amputate, like several octopus species, and regenerate limbs. If you look carefully, you will see said offerings by Miquella towards the baby octopuses in the forms of sacramental buds. An immature bud containing fresh blood, believed to originate long ago from a strain of buds cultivated. Miquella's youthful blood offerings to baby octopuses in the hopes of curing his sister Malenia's curse of eternal decay. After all, shrines in dedication to Akurakamu and associated octopus deities are found all throughout Japan. In this statue, we see Malenia's severed arm from her battle with Redan, hugging her dearest brother Miquella. We can also observe the amber starlight, which is used in Celivis's quest. An ephemeral sliver that gives off a pale amber glow, what remains of a passing flash of starlight. If the stars command our fates, then amber-hued stars must command the fates of the gods. Such is the belief that inspired the use of these shards to prepare a most special draught. Cannot be consumed by mere humans. All of this is subtly paving the way for Malenia and Miquella's congealed vision in a greater narrative. Sweet tarnished dearest companion, did you not heed my warning? Your greed knows no end. You would steal the last drop of warmth from his empty frame? After all you've taken, you still want more? Then you will have to kill me. I am Malenia, Sword of Miquella, and I have never known defeat. This dialogue has been found in the cut content for the DLC. However, this can also be how Miyazaki initially envisioned Malenia's boss fight as Miquella and Malenia duo fight, like Ornstein and Smoke in Dark Souls 1. It is important to remember that while we defeat demigods like Malenia, the Rune of Death, which prevents their permanent demise, is still sealed by Malekith. Let me put a pin on this for a second.
Conqueror of the stars, General Radahn. And the blade of Miquella and Malenia the Seventh. These two were the mightiest to remain, and locked horns in combat.
Do you remember when Malenia was fighting Redan in this epic duel in the trailers, and right around this moment, she thrusted her blade into her flesh, not just Redan? Didn't you think that this was weird when you first saw it? I certainly did. What was the rationale here? Is Malenia a masochist or just plain suicidal? Well, after seeing the amount of suffering she inflicted on humanity, I can't guarantee she's not a sadist.
Okay, come on, she's so low. No! Damn, no! Damn, okay.
But I can tell you that she's absolutely not suicidal or a masochist. Make no mistake, this blade thrust was all calculated with precision. You see, Malenia shoved it into her flesh because she had no other choice. The location of entry is coinciding with Miquella's golden needle residing beneath her skin, resisting the growing rot from within, keeping her sickness of eternal decay in check. When the golden needle snaps in half and breaks with this thrust, the sickness of rot infesting Malenia's body and psyche from birth has unleashed with impunity. Without the properties of resistance Miquella's needle provides, Malenia has bloomed into a beautiful scarlet flower, prematurely ending her fight with Radahn in a stalemate, leaving not just Radahn but also herself in a state of decay she would not want Miquella, her dearest brother, to see. And Miyazaki is making sure we connect the dots by leaving the snapped half needle of unalloyed gold in the swamp of Ionia, taken by Commander Nile for safekeeping in the aftermath of the explosion. Remember that Commander Nile is a boss fight residing in Castle Sol, alluding to his allegiance to Miquella's troops in Vision, making sure in the swamp of Ionia Miquella's needle is kept safe until his inevitable ascension to the Empyrean lineage. Now I want to speak about Malenia's potential reappearance in the DLC, by inference of this item description. Technique of Malenia, the goddess of rot, creates a gigantic flower that blooms into an explosion of scarlet rot. Each time the scarlet flower blooms, Malenia's rot advances. It has bloomed twice already. With the third bloom, she will become a true goddess. You get this Scarlet Ionian incantation after defeating Malenia, not before. This is very important because the game's logic already dictates that you have defeated Malenia, so what is being referred to here with the phrase, "It has bloomed twice already, with the third bloom, she will become a true goddess." This is not a language that you would use if the developers are intending for the third bloom to coincide with our boss fight, because it doesn't. Malenia has only bloomed 2 times. Not 3 as you might believe. Her first scarlet bloom was her fight with Radahn. The reason was the needle breaking, as we've explored. Her second bloom was with us, the Tarnished, getting to her goddess of rot form. So where is the third bloom where she achieves her true goddess form? Let me first clear up your immediate objection. There is a scarlet flower in front of Malenia's room, and I can tell you almost definitely that this is not Malenia's bloom. Potentially, your argument can go something like, this is Malenia's bloom from her fight with Mohg before Miquella was captured. In fact, Malenia is referred to as Goddess of Rot in the second phase by text, so she must have the third and final bloom with our fight. Well, this is interesting because although this argument might appear sound on the surface, it has too many problems for me to accept on such premises. First of all, when we arrive at this room in front of the Scarlet Flower, we find the Traveler's clothes. The same clothes Malenia's offshoot daughters and buds are wearing. Like Millicent, who has been directly confirmed to blossom into a flower, just like this flower right here when she dies at the end of her questline. This is hinting at whoever died here and consequently blossomed into the Scarlet Flower. Now, the identity of who died in the boss room may not be possible to decipher exactly, but what can be deciphered is it wasn't Malenia's unless she happened to be wearing the Traveler's garbs before her death, which is just an absurd theory. Also, there's no way, for instance, Malenia would have fought with Mohg here. For some reason lost a fight and exploded as a flower. If Malenia did know Mohg captured Miquella or even attempted to do it, then she would actively go out there and look for Mohg in specific. So the idea that she fought Radahn in the trailers to learn Miquella's whereabouts goes out the window as well. See, Radahn, loyal to Radagon's vision, would have no reason to hide information on Miquella's whereabouts if he knew anything. No argument can be made regarding Malenia was looking for Miquella as a motivation for her march from Erdtree to Caelid. A much more plausible explanation in my eyes exists, which I've explained in my DLC analysis video here. You can check it out if you want to learn more about it. Depending on how well versed you are on the Elden Ring's lore, there's one more objection you might have regarding Malenia having a possible bloom earlier, perhaps some other time, pointing to this prosthetic wearer heirloom. Though born into the accursed rot, when the young girl encountered her mentor and his flowing blade, she gained wings of unparalleled strength. You might say, it is written she gained wings of unparalleled strength and she did that in her second phase with us. This means she has bloomed prior to Radahn's fight with her mentor, which makes our fight the third and final bloom. This sounds good, but the logic doesn't work. Let's investigate the hand of Malenia. Some claim to have seen wings when the weapon was raised aloft. This means you can see those wings of unparalleled strength without her getting to her second form. As seen in the Scarlet Flower incantation, with each bloom, Malenia's sickness of eternal decay gets worse and worse. Her mentor, who he loved her by the way, would never push her that hard in her combat training, where she explodes on him. Well, that sounded a bit weird. Malenia's story might be paving the way for the DLC, as further hints reside in the base game. The despair of sweet betrayal transformed Millicent from a mere bud into a magnificent flower, and one day she will be reborn as a beautiful Scarlet Valkyrie. Just like we never saw Millicent's ascension to that Scarlet Valkyrie, Malenia's ascension to her true Goddess of Rot form has yet to occur. Millicent trusts you, rather deeply in fact. Sever that trust. Nurtured by betrayal, her bud will flower most vividly. When Malenia ascends to godhood, Millicent too shall be reborn. Now this theme of death and rebirth brings us to something very important we need to discuss about Malenia. DLC's potential ending, the Order of Rot. Queen Marika and her king consort Radagon were blessed with twin demigods, and Malenia was one of them. She was born an Empyrean, carrying the Scarlet Rot. An Empyrean is no mere demigod. In the age of the Elden Ring, and Queen Marika, the precious Empyrean, was born, a new god to forge a new order. Since Malenia fought Radon and the great Scarlet Flower blossomed in Ionia, I have dedicated myself to her and to the resplendence of the Order of Rot, the cycle of decay and rebirth. Don't you think it is peculiar that only Miquella's ending related content was cut from the game while Malenia's ending was nowhere to be seen? Ranni lays it out for us in the game. I was once an Empyrean. Of the demigods, only I, Miquella, and Malenia could claim that title. Each of us was chosen by our own two fingers as a candidate to succeed Queen Marika to become the new god of the coming age. We had the Age of Stars. We're definitely gonna have Miquella's ending of abundance in the DLC, but what about the Order of Rot? What about Malenia's reign? According to Ranni, she's entitled to it after all. I predict the Order of Rot to be not entirely malicious, but if controlled with Miquella's unalloyed gold, it can actually be a sustainable and prosperous order. Incantation of the Servants of Rot. Those who dwell within poison know rot all too well. The death that begets life, that comes to all equally. That is to say, it is the cycle of rebirth put into practice. Elden Ring on the metaphysical substrate is a separate entity determining the fundamental laws of the universe. It is better to think of this metaphysical substrate as a ring. An Elden Beast is currently representing its will as the Elden Ring, only one manifestation of countless possibilities that exists in the lands between. See, all of the outer gods, including the greater will, inherently desire to take possession of this metaphysical substrate that is the ring, express its will, and to have unmediated access to its fundamental rules. From this perspective, considering Malenia as an Empyrean cursed with the God of Rot, it is only logical for Miyazaki to add the outer God of Rot as a possible ending in the Shadow of the Erdtree, an order where decay and rebirth is at the forefront of its metaphysics. Remember, rot can either grow and flourish in still water, or stifle and decay in changing water, making the essence of rot fundamentally neutral, the idea of how a weapon isn't dangerous but the one who wields it. As an order that embodies life, death, and rebirth within its confines, the Age of Rot can certainly be a worthy contender for the Empyrean lineage. We all speak about Miquella's order, but I think that it's only fair the remaining Empyrean Malenia to have her own. And to prepare for Miyazaki's finale, subscribe because I'm cooking something very special for my next lore video and I don't want you to miss it. Meanwhile, you can watch my lore analysis series here. I have lots of episodes for you to binge. And as always, thanks for watching.